start button on the internet, and I am going to get us to a chart, and then I'm going to switch the internet, the programming over there. All right, so let's see. I did hear your voice, Big Daddy. Appreciate it. And all right, so I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little disheveled. I was making you a video for the indicator that I published yesterday for you guys, but I got 3/4 of the way through it, and I had to stop it there. So now that will be missing a little bit of information, but it'll be better than nothing to get you guys started. Anyway, where are we? Well, VIX woke up, pushing us in a little bit higher here. It's not screaming though, so don't forget. Here's yesterday's fear levels and where we were. We haven't even exceeded that. We're still well below the weekly 9 here, monthly 9 pushing down. China high for the VIX. I know I put this on here too, so that's fine. I don't see the VIX giving us a lot of trouble here. What my main concern is that today has kind of been a really slow, dull drool down. It hasn't been super successfully pushing high. And if I look down at ES here, okay, we went up and back tested the 4-hour 20 from below, and we were rejected. That rejection also carried the 4-hour 9 with it, and that pushed us all the way down into. Hold on, let me just. Push this out of the way for a sec. Push this all the way through the weekly 9 and all the way down to London low, which is where we are dropping right now. London low has been held so far, but the problem that I had is that remember I had drawn this little trend line to try to hold and maintain. Well, that is now in default. So that default is giving me some pause here in terms of what to expect. I wanted us to hold these levels and to continue to push higher. A wick below here doesn't kill me, but we've got 40 minutes for this to resolve itself and resolve itself higher. If we close below this line, then I'm going to have to recalculate exactly what we're looking at here. I'm not saying that the low's not already in. I'm just saying that it's making it difficult right now. But who would expect anything so easy? This is one of the reasons why I've been kind of saying, guys, is let's look at taking these groupings of SMAs, putting them behind us before we launch in so that we don't get stuck holding red bags, waiting for those red bags to turn green so that we can be happy again. Let's just enter on green and stay green. So if you've got a little bit in play right now, no problem. You should have a scale in from yesterday. If you sold that and took profit, then you're a genius and you can buy back lower right here. If you're holding on, like I am holding on a couple here too, I'm just waiting to get confirmations and see if I need to scale in again here lower. I'm not at that point yet because I haven't seen a break from this and I haven't had a close here. So what am I looking for exactly? I'm looking for ES to close below this trend line from the 10-hour candle, from the overnight candle that ended at 10 a.m. this morning. We're 9:59. We are in the 10-hour candle here now. That is down here. If we close below that and we close below London low, then I am going to be looking for us to potentially go a little bit lower and figuring that out. That will put us into this range right here at the 74,290. Excuse me, 72.90 range. If we lose the 72.90 here, from here, that the math on the trajectory here spits it out and pushes it down to 72.50. So 72.50 down here is right above the prior day's low, current week's low. So if we catch this and hold, then we go up. If we don't catch this and we push down, then we're heading to the 71.80 range, which is down here. Sorry. And that is something that I don't want to see right now. I was hoping that we could keep this ball game up in play, but that's it from ES. So that's looking at from ES perspective. We do have other perspectives to see. Here is SPY. SPY is still continuous bear trend, bear flag that Jinja was talking about earlier today, and we still are in motion with that. We are holding London low. Still on SPY. And again, SPY is going to have to keep the daily, the prior day's low. So we have to keep the prior day's low to have set the bottom. Typically, what can happen with this is we're probably about halfway between where we are now and the bottom here would be where this candle would set. And that would be a confirmation of this if the next candle opened and overtook the prior candle, or at least the 2/3 mark. So a lot of math in there to figure that one out. But the reality is that we're still looking good for all this. So everything's still okay. What I didn't like to see was this nonsense up here. Here's our weekly 9. and we back tested it here. We back tested it here and here and here, and here's where we initially lost it at around 10, 11 o'clock when the news about Trump going to pound the Iranians today. So Trump's pounding the Iranians, and the SPY cannot seem to get over the weekly 9. So all we need to do is have SPY try to crawl above the weekly 9 here, and then everything will be much more like what I described this morning. If we continue to drool down lower and we're unable to even take these 5 SMAs, and we lose London low, then I might consider it just a short swing, not short swing, a short uh, put down to this level down here, about a 5, 6 point move if we could get it. I don't think we're going to see it though. I think we're going to hold here. Point of control, by the way, which you're going to learn about shortly, is right here. If you notice the consolidation here too, this consolidation here resulted in a breakout. That breakout failed. That's bad, right? Failed breakouts are bad. So a breakout here failed. Then we lost down here, consolidated again, tried to break out again, failed. Okay, here. So now we're in a really tightly wound spring consolidation here. This is super, super tight. We have volume point of control right at our level 2 here. And we're going to see if we can then push out above the 5-minute, 9 Fed mid 20. We'll have the next breakout. Will tell us, give us a little bit more indication on whether if it fails again, that likely puts us down in this range right here. Again, we're not looking, we're not afraid of any of this stuff. These couple of pullbacks just determine where our scales will sit. So that's it here. I'm going to take you to the ES chart to give you kind of a little bit of range here. So here was our test of the overnight low, London low, here at 1152. This is immediately after the I'm pounding the Iranian statement over here. So that's where we tapped up, but we did stop right here. We had a really nice V-shaped recovery on that. The problem is it didn't hold, and the recovery resulted in a lower than the high before we dropped, which then proceeded to allow us to cascade down, and then we had this big consolidation. You're now looking at it again, but on ES. But what I wanted to show you is that this London low was printed back here. Actually, not even here. This is 7:24 a.m. where we didn't quite touch it. And then we can get all the way back into, I think it was almost at yesterday's. It's pretty far back. So no, that was it then. Okay. So 724 was the touch here. That was the touch point here. Sorry, at 1152, no, 724 right here. That was the touch. So again, we have that double touch here. We haven't touched it again. If we can keep off that line and push up, then I'd feel a lot more comfortable. Losing London low would give me some pause here on this. VIX is starting to die off. Oil spiked. I don't know why oil spiked, other than obviously slamming the Iranians isn't exactly the rhetoric that we needed to take this thing forward, but anyway, hopefully we get that done and over with ASAP so that we can get back to normalcy here. I feel like this has been taking forever to get going. So let's look at Bitcoin real quick. So we've definitely pushed higher here. So we're out of the kind of the crypto woods perspective from the death channel here. This is actually a little healthier looking than where we were with SPY and with ES. Crypto is trying to make a breakout here. Again, we have a similar failed breakdown here, but it's holding the 15. 1520 is a good one to grab onto for BTC. It tends to give me a little bit more indication of where we are. So I like where Bitcoin is right now on this, in the short term anyway. Longer term, this is going to snap back. We're probably going to have a rejection up here from the weeklies and then come back down. Let's see, SPY. So SPY is, we did SPY already. Let me get to the Qs. I saw some conversation on the Qs there. Big Daddy. Okay, Qs. So weekly 9 right here. We touched it and we bounced, which is excellent. Probably not done with this little battle here quite yet. Same thing as with SPY and ES. Holding the weekly 9 here would be phenomenal. That actually would help with SPY as well. Losing the weekly 9 isn't going to kill this either because we have the same scenario with SPY. That they've already lost to the weekly 9. If Q's lost the weekly 9, I'm okay. Again, the end all with this is if we do lose yesterday's low, then obviously we've got more room to give here. What I'd like to see in a bottom is more than two candles closing higher than this level. So while while we did have a higher low and we had a lower high because that's the way this works, we do have a intermediary candle, which is we have a higher high and a lower low here. So this isn't the death trap, and that goes across the board too. I looked at it from SPY and from ES's perspective. It's the same exact candle, just a little bit of different framing with the SMAs. We do reject off the 4-hour 9 here, coming back down. So that is going to give us a little bit of stuff. Oh, I've got the old setup here. I got to put the new setup on so I can see it better. And Qs look good. Actually, Qs look a little better than SPY with the weekly. So if we hold that weekly and go, the only problem that you guys have to realize is that a weekly 9 provides strength, and the bounce isn't really showing me all that much strength. So I don't love it, but from what we went through yesterday and on Friday, it's not expected to be, perfection here. So Friday's low here, looks like we've toppled out. We had an oversold situation yesterday, definitely. The news today did not kill everything at all. In fact, we had a really nice little rally that was going that was only, pushed down based upon geopolitical stuff. So that's where we are on the Qs. Nothing to be, overtly concerned about. Tesla's being a pain in the ass. Tesla has decided to go the other way. So this is going to be a problem for Tesla. The market will do its own thing. Tesla will do its. So I don't expect Tesla to recover today or tomorrow. We will see where this ends up. But right now, based upon the configuration that we have right here, this cascade down is going to push Tesla down closer into the 370s. We're looking at monthly 20 range is the next target on here, which is 374. That's the first thing we have to do is defeat the current day's low, the overnight session, and last month's low is all here too. So we've got a pile of high-low in this range right here that we need to defeat first. So we'll get a little static bounce here. If we do bounce off of this, that bounce has to take out. Has to take out. Ugh, it's unfortunate, but has to take out the basically the daily 50 up here, which is really, really high. So I don't see that happening in a single candle. It can do it over three, but um, I'd like to see it go faster. So that all tells me that that's not likely. So more likely than anything, we're going to be heading down here towards the monthly 20. So if you're looking for additional scales in Tesla, you're going to want to wait. You're going to wait and be patient and see what happens when we get to the monthly 20. Not a target to buy, just a target to wait. Wait and see. Your current scales, as are mine, are safely deposited in a bracket somewhere over in here, and we'll wait for the recovery to push those out. As long as you have time, you're fine. Um, but Tesla isn't looking like it's going to do a quick recovery here on this one. Amazon is definitely doing similar things, but we're at the monthly 9 now. So on this particular situation, I think we have more strength in support underneath than we do on some of the others. I do expect Amazon to actually start its recovery a little sooner. So Amazon off the monthly 9, our next candle hopefully should be pushing us higher. And that would be in line with my expectation from earlier today with how Amazon performs. And there is the 5 minutes on the day so far. So you can see it's been more of an argument and less of just a cascading free fall. Very, very different from yesterday. Coin, I'm not going to spend too much time on other than to say that this thing holds on when it's it's so inverse to what it should be doing here. But anyway, we cannot take the 4-hour 9. It's just not allowing it. So while coin sits below there, it is a nothing. Soxel, big name for today. And definitely on the entry scope, what we're all been looking for. So here's the news on Soxel. So yesterday's close up here, we've got the 4-hour 9 has basically defeated and brought us down to this level. The back test of the 4-hour 9 this morning was rejected. Um, the 4-hour 50 was also lost here again, and we are printing higher lows, and we're continuing that trajectory. This is the new candle here that we just got. So the prior candle, um, did close above the one here. So we have a higher low and a higher high. Great news. We may continue to do that kind of a sequencing here, but this candle here will tell us if we are going higher or lower with Soxel. So the current 4-hour candle will either be below this line here, or it will maintain a level above it. And it's really about the bottom of this candle. Is that if this bottom candle this candle is below the prior one or above it, that's going to tell us what Soxel is going to do. That will actually tell us Soxel, Nvidia, MU not so much, but it'll give us a key indicator there. So scales in here, whatever. If you sold, great. Didn't, great. Doesn't matter. Soxel is going to recover for sure. But when are we going to get the run? Well, we've got a long way to go here. Let's cut that into thirds, so 2/3. So we've really got to get to here on a normal stock, but here on Soxel in order to get that push. So it doesn't take much to get us down here. We're holding the weekly 9 by a long shot. We're not getting eradicated like everything else. And there are stocks in this sector. There are chips that are performing well today. So I feel suppression. This is the one ticker that actually makes me really feel like there could be suppression in all of this, and that this all bounces out and pulls into shape by tomorrow. If not, no problem, because I'm not going to act either way. My scale is in. I'm going to wait until I take these SMAs. Once I take them, I'm going to determine whether or not I'm going to wait for a back test or if I'm just going to enter in on taking them. But I'm not going to enter here. There's no reason to. Yes, it would be great to buy lower, et cetera, but I've already got a scale in. And if I'm going to buy lower, I want to make sure I'm at the bottom. And I can't guarantee you that yet until this particular candle here closes. So it's not worth the risk. Guys, can be patient. We've been waiting for this dip for a long time. It's providing us ample of opportunity to look at all of this and analyze it. It's not moving very, very quickly. That's a negative for the structure, but a positive for our ability to use some restraint and find out where exactly we're going to enter in our second set of scales here. So really, really hard to do, to sit back and wait, especially when you see things spike up and move. But again, it didn't hold. And that's the whole point of why we use these SMAs. Sorry. Moving on over to NVIDIA, very similar, obviously. Same structure. I mean, this is the structure of the day. We're comparing everything against yesterday's low. It was an oversold situation. So how much is that comparatively walks over into where we are now? Unfortunately, NVIDIA is very different because it had so much damage before that our weekly 9 is far above us here. So hopefully we can start coming back and taking some of these levels on here, but it doesn't look bad at all. It's just a matter of whether or not it can hold the prior candle low, and then we'll see. MU, different story though. We are really tight on MU. I am going to, oh, my headset said low battery, so somebody let me know if I kind of click out. And see where we can get to on here. If we can hold this low here, we're really close on this. MU might push a little bit lower, which isn't going to be all that damaging to MU right now. Again, this is going to be the floor that we're looking for. We were close on Friday, so keep in mind that our pushback yesterday didn't uh, didn't go as far away from Friday's push as the other one. So actually, MU held its own a lot better. Like to see when this turns. On the first taking of the 4-hour 9, when we take it and hold it, we're not going to necessarily have to wait for the 4-hour 9 to turn for our entry. What we're going to want to wait for though is to buy on the 4-hour 9 and then look for the daily 9 rejection. So we're going to sell that daily 9 rejection and then come back down to the 4-hour 9 and see if we can get a rejection here on this back test to push us back up. That would be an awesome 2 or 3 plays that you could probably do in this on a short-term scale. So keep a lookout on that, but we do need to get up to that level for it to work. Otherwise, we could just sit back here and wait. We got the 4-hour 50 creeping up on us, and so we got lots of room and time for that. Netflix, like I told you, this is the counter argument. So Netflix, glad to see it pushing higher. It is, got us in a better range. This still needs to keep going here. I want it in the 84, 85 range right here at this resistance level before we actually start to see that other move happen. CoreWeave stabilizing down here. Looks okay. Very similar to MU. nothing to talk about here. As the 4-hour estimate comes down here, that we got to be careful that we don't get defeated on those. So the 4-hour nines are rushing down to us. Those are going to be our first big attacks. Typically, they bounce off of right away. So let's try to take them sooner than later. The lower we are when we try to take them, the more likely we are to push lower. So we want to start fighting those things sooner than later. I'm going to skip the leaps for now. This stuff, let's take a look at Apple. Apple's trying to recover here. It's giving some proving grounds. Obviously, we did set a lower low though with Apple, which was unfortunate. Although Apple was in the lows to begin with. So as far as looking at Apple here, I don't see the full recovery here on a single candle print here. This is not quite a double bottom, and we are looking to hold this weekly 9 here again. So if we can hold weekly 9 on this candle, then I'm really interested in Apple's run up to the 4-hour 9. That would be a great short play if you wanted to, not short play, a short time frame play to run the call up here and then sell the rejection. That rejection will bring us back down to either the halfway point or all the way down to the weekly 9. Either one of those levels is fine to start scaling into and then selling if you lose the weekly 9. So it keeps yelling in my ear, low battery. There's nothing I can do about it. And keep running until I run out of time. So that's the play for Apple. Let's move over to. I was working on Sierra. This is what I was working on. I'm recording the video for you guys here. This, I mean, this was great. This is up 24 points earlier today. Major pullback on the Iranian announcement. New candle here. I don't know what's going on here. Haven't had time to look out for the news on this, but I feel like it's brewing on CRDO, and maybe that M&A stuff I've been talking about is coming sooner than later. So anyway, worth a look. It's performing extremely well in all this turmoil. Obviously, geopolitical knocked it down on its ass here, but from its growth trajectory today, but it's still, up almost 4% for the day, and it's in a massive uptrend here. So this is something that I would consider trying to look at for grow through that. If you look at the shape, the trajectory here, it looks really, really strong. You've got a pile of SMAs all pointing up right below you for supports. You can see how these supports were treated. That 4-hour 9 is being touched by every one of these candles almost all the way through. So the supports are acting and holding and working well. So this is a strong one right here. And it's one of the ones that I put a swing trade. I didn't want to run the swing trade analysis on it again because we're already had done it several times with this one, but I did want to bring it up again to you today because I do think this could be another opportunity. Keep in mind when it pulls back, it pulls back hard, and options on this aren't at all on the cheap side. They're very, very expensive, but this is a play I'm looking for. And I love the layout here. This is the cleanness that I'm teaching you guys in this video that I'll show you in the next one. All right, that is all of it for now. I'm going to swing back over to the 4 panel so we can see the new candle on uh, on SPY, and it is a dud. So unfortunately, we are still bouncing off of London low, but we are right there. It's not. Oh no, we lost it. We lost it up here. Okay, so we did lose London low for sure now, and that is unfortunate. That's not where I wanted to be. So I cannot tell you that the bottom is set yet. Now we need to take a look at this and see where this candle actually closes. ES looks like it's in a similar situation. Looks like we're right at those levels. That's okay. So the next test is these prior day lows. So we got to look for Tuesday's low and see if we hold that with this candle, and then see what we do on the close here. So please don't rush into anything. There's no need to. Scalping, of course, have a field day with this. Losing this, we may get a push down. Also, we could have Iran could wave the white flag. It ain't gonna happen, but that could happen, and that will throw this thing into an absolute fire frenzy. So be cautious here. Let's keep our wits about us and take this slowly. Yeah, shorts. So for certain names, Spy, I don't really love it for. I think Tesla, I do. I think Tesla's a possible short coming here. I don't see the structure changing here. Although Tesla is the one that will give us whiplash though when it's ready. Um, MU is another one. If we drop below this line here, below the prior candle, then I'd short it to the daily 20. If we start taking this though too, you got to keep your keep everything really tight though. Keep your stop losses tight. And those of you that don't short often, this is pretty risky here. But I'm more in the MHM. I'm more in the wait for the longs phase right here because we are already so low. If we do lose prior day low today, then I will be looking. I got one battle here, which is a daily 50 that I'm concerned about. But if we do lose that, I probably hold a short in the overnight and looking to capitalize on that. At which point we probably set a new low and determine whether or not that is the bottom of this or not. We're getting close though. If we're not there, we're getting close. We're stalling a little bit. It's some consolidation. The candles are tight range. There's a difference if you look at this triple candle structure versus this triple candle structure, right? What you can see is that you have first of all you have a pushback and then you have a lot of overlap. All that overlap tells you that there's consolidation going on here, whereas you have less of that over here. So hopefully we can start to maneuver this in the right direction. If this candle drops, though, in the way it's looking right now, it's not super, super healthy. But that will all be how this geopolitical settles out. So there we are. Um, Have been scalping SPY QQ puts. Nice. Soxel hasn't moved a ton, right? Well, actually, Soxel has moved, but I mean, this was a massive move. We're going from 213 to 178. I mean, from a dollar perspective, that's a massive move. But yeah, very hard to play right now. The current candle we're in, obviously, we haven't gone too far. Yeah, it was a big one, the last one. So there is a lot of scalp opportunity here too, and Soxel plays hard. So this rejection here on the 4-hour 9 is great because we did lose it from below, but we've already tested it once now. So we pushed back and tested it once. That's excellent news. So that means that we get to do it. Here is the test on the open here. We rejected it. We hit the floor. Here's a second test. We rejected it, and we didn't go all the way down to that level. We stayed here. So Soxel actually is a little bit of a bellwether of what the compilation of the chips are doing. Isn't all that defeating. So I'm okay with it. Scotland Plus Saxel has a move in the time of this short as well. All June 30th expiry. Yeah, okay. June 30th isn't my favorite expiry, but I'm not in trouble with you on that one yet. I think you're okay. Let's get this candle to close up as high as we can and go from there. So break out your bicycle pumps and start pumping. All right. Anybody have any questions? Anybody have any concerns? Oh my gosh, I just typed in pump it and I found show me the monies thing with a bullhead on it. This is hysterical. Uh, anyway, there you go. Sorry if you guys aren't on the online, you can't see it, but yeah, there you go. So we need to pump this up. All right. Looking to see if there's. I'll hang back if anybody wants to talk. Otherwise, I'm going to shut it down. I'll give you guys a couple minutes to decide, or a couple seconds anyway. I think I'm going to lose my headset here too. All right. Yeah, Crowbar. I'm dropping the mic. All right, guys. I'll see you on the floor. Thanks.